Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be talking about philosophy again, and this time I have the Tao Te Ching, and we have Lao Tzu. If you hear me sometimes call him Lao Tzu, it's because that's the way the Chinese pronounce him. So I think Tao Te Ching is one of the most influential books in my life. Like maybe not the most saying, maybe not the most articulate, but certainly one of the most beautiful. Like it's kind of like reading poetry. You don't quite know what you're reading, and yet you're reading some weird mixture between beauty and truth. And I think Lao Tzu is really perfect at that because he's often showing truth between these oppositions, these different sides of nature. The fun thing about Lao Tzu was it was once said that he was so unhappy with China and what China had become that he was about to walk out of China when a border guard stopped him. And he started explaining to the border guard like what he was unhappy about and all these things he had learned. And then the border guards said something to him that if you're truly so unhappy, why don't you write down the things you have learned and others should learn before you leave the country? So Lao Tzu, according to the myth, began writing this book. So I have no clue if it's true, but I think it's a nice story to get the perception of this. I also think when you read Eastern philosophy, I also think it's quite different from Western philosophy. There's a different line of thought. And I think sometimes it's very good to challenge ourselves with Eastern philosophers also, because there's a different perspective of things. I think one thing I like about Lao Tzu is he always manages to make you think. Like you often have like this example of a ball being most useful when it's empty, and if you like sharpen a knife too many times, then it will dull. He has these mentions of all these opposites that really makes you think. But it's all with this kind of purpose to get you to some sort of balance and to get you to follow the way, really. This is the book of the way. So it's a very influential book, like one of the most read books in the world. And even to this day, there's still many disagreements about the meaning of things in it. So, but I think like if you read this, you will find so much meaning in it, and you'll also find many beautiful sections. So, for example, here it says, "He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far." And you'll often see this throughout the book, that in everything, it writes down these oppositions and then leaves you yourself to think about it and what the balance and intercorrelations between these things really are. So it's an amazing book to really make you think, like make you think for yourself. So here's another favorite passage of mine. It says, "If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. I especially think that last sentence is incredibly important. Like, if you take a glass of water, like, when can more water be poured into the glass? Is that when the water glass is full or when it's empty? You'll probably say it's when it's full, right? No, you'll be wrong. It's when it's empty. Because when there's no water in the glass, something can be poured into it. And that's the problem with many people, as many people pretend they know everything, that the glass is full, that they can't learn anything more. And because of that, they can't receive anything. They can't listen. They can't fill up the glass. So I think this book in many ways is good for getting you to think about wisdom. I think in many ways it has these phrases that will truly make you think. I also think it can be quite a frustrating book because it really requires you to think for yourself. Like, many of these things are just pretty words until you start thinking deeply about them. And when you start thinking deeply about them, you find many different meanings. So this is not a book you read once and then you're done with it. This is a book you can continue reading for your lifetime. It's a short book, but every time you read it, you will find some new meaning in it. And there's also some things you need, like a religious meaning to like make sense of in the book. So, but yeah, I think there's a lot of beautiful things in it. But yeah, there's also sometimes a bit of nonsense, like for us modern people. So, for example, here it says we work with being, but non-being is what we use. And that's not necessarily nonsense, but it's really vague. It's really something you have to read into it, what you want. But yeah, here's another one of my favorite passages. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about other people's approval and you will be the prisoner. Now, there's two things I really like in this. Like, fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Like, if you try to be everything, you'll be nothing. You'll not succeed in any of it. Like, being everything is being nothing. Being everywhere is being nowhere. Like, so many people try to be too much at one time, or like one day they'll try to lose weight and the next day they'll try to learn Spanish, and then the day after that they'll probably try to join a tennis club or something, and then the day after that a friend come by and they want to learn something fourth and fifth. So you probably know those people. I also know that like the things about not if you care about people's approval, you'll be the prisoner. And that's really the thing about life. One thing you have to be really careful about is not becoming a prisoner to what other people want you to be and what other people want you to do. Like, you always have to strike a balance. And I think for a lot of young people, that can be very tough because they often have parents that want them to be something, and they also have this idea of themselves often being derived from TV and these movie stars and all these things about what life is and what they should be. And because of that, they have kind of put themselves in this prison, both of others' opinion about them, but also about their own opinion about themselves. So like, I could continue with this book. Like there's so much in it. Like there's also some religious undertones, like being and non-being create each other. It says right here. I really think this book is a book you need to read for yourself, because in this book, like what meaning you get out of it depends a lot on the person that reads it. It's a beautiful book, and if you just get some pieces of poetry out of it, I think it'll be very good. But it's one of those books you can keep coming back to, and it's certainly one of my favorites. So take care out there, and see you next time.